Hey everybody, Whip here and welcome on back to Minecraft. Today we're back in here with an awesome tutorial video building this really cool round wooden house. It's something new that I kind of came up with while watching some movies. I was like, I want to give this a shot. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Did this one work out? Did it not work out? It's a lot of campfires, but I think it turned out into a very cool build with fully completed here with an awesome interior space for it. So click that like button down below and let's get to the tutorial. Alright everybody, let's get this tutorial started here. We're starting off with a big old circle in this one where it's 5, 2, 1, 2, 5, 2, and then so on. Bring yourselves all the way around. Give yourselves a little bit of an aerial view here. There you go with that one. What we want to start off with this build is actually coming down here and just breaking this entire thing, going down 2 blocks the entire way to give ourselves a little bit more room down below to work with and maybe even get a second floor inside this house. That is the goal after all, but the idea we're going with here of course is the round house. I think it's very cool. One thing I wanted to mention is the idea for this one came from watching Thor Dark World. My girlfriend and I have recently been rewatching through all of the Avengers films because, you know, we've obviously needed something to do as we can't quite leave the house right now. So we've been watching through all of the Marvel films in the chronological order. So I think we're about a quarter of the way through, or a third of the way through at this point. And there's a house design in the beginning of that series that looked like a little bit of a tent. And I loved it so very much. So that's what we're here to build today. I went ahead and dropped ourselves all the way down here and then also cleared out the area that had the concrete on it so that we have some extra space to work with. And what we're going to be doing here is bringing these out 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we're going to go to that little corner one. We're going to bring it up 4. And then we're going to come over here and just extend this around the entire way. Just bringing this out 4 blocks at a time. And we've got to quickly work through this one to make sure that grass doesn't grow everywhere over all of the dirt that we have down in the base, because we want the floor of this one to be some coarse dirt and regular dirt just to give it a little bit more variety to ourselves or for the build here. And what I'm going to quickly do is just jump in here and replace all these with coarse dirt to stop that spreading, because I don't want to have to manually change ourselves back to dirt at the end of this one. But anyways, after this, to completely stop that is let's go ahead and bring in some cobblestone around the base. It's just going to be on the lowest layer here because I want to make sure most of what we have above ground is actually going to be a majority spruce wood. I think it'll look really cool, but I want to get a little bit of cobblestone down here at the base so it could be something to kind of help differentiate the brown spruce wood between the dirt and just give ourselves a little bit of an area to break things up. Now, after that, go ahead and bring in just some spruce wood planks throughout this entire area, stacking it all up to being that 4 tall point that we're at. And then the very interesting part of this one is where we're going to be doing the roof, or how we're going to be doing the roof. So I know these are very basic things for now, but let's get to the more fun stuff. The fun stuff, first and foremost, being our doorway. So I want to take on this side right here. You can pick any of the faces that you want because it's obviously the exact same right now. And we're going to be breaking ourselves down to here. And then we're going to bring it right in at this point. We're going to have a little area where you can walk inside. And then what I want to do to make this a little bit more detailed was throw in a little bit of cobblestone right here, throw in some cobblestone right over there. We can expand this out a little bit more to make it almost like a small clearing of sorts. We can add a cobblestone stair, and I was thinking some slabs right like that. That would be able to help us kind of round off this front area. And then I'm going to replace pretty much everything in here with some coarse dirt just so we can have some more area that we can work with and everything, and it just feels a little bit more open. And then out here on this one, I'd probably maybe expand this out a few more, and then we can do just like some slabs as like they have a pathway to get out of their home. And it gives ourselves a good little starting point. And what we could also do here is almost extend these bits out a little bit further and just add some more variety into the structure so it's not just the same thing all over the place. We can achieve that right like there. Now, for our lovely roof design that we're going to be doing, let's start off by adding in some fence gates. So we're going to come around to all of these spruce pillars that we have with the strip logs and just add fence gates on all of their open faces with the little door handles facing in towards the spruce pillar. Then after this, we're going to be bringing in a lot more depth and detail into the upper build that we have and just kind of adding in some more life to this one. And I really want to have a lot of fun with the slope of this build and incorporate a large window into the top portion. So after we get this around here, then we can start bringing in a little bit more stuff, which in this case, I'm thinking we are going to add in, well, first and foremost, it's going to be campfires in here very soon, but let's get a shovel so that we can extinguish these ones and not have to worry about it. So we get our shovel right like that. You can extinguish it and it looks pretty great. One thing I want to do first, though, is we're actually just going to bring in some regular spruce planks or spruce slabs right like this, going all the way around on top of that entire border that we have. I wanted to have this overhang quite a bit, and we're going to have it being pretty much a consistent circle going all the way around this guy. Now at this point, we can start having a little bit more fun with the shape of it. What we're going to be doing is bringing in campfires around this entire thing, doing that same border again. And the cool part about campfires is they feel a little bit lower than where we have those slabs, which is absolutely awesome. Then underneath those campfires, go ahead and bring out a spruce trapdoor right like that, and then add another spruce trapdoor right on top of that one. And so it creates this very cool little slopey effect and overhangs around this entire thing. So it gives us a lot of area for storage and stuff like that going around the entire place. So we're going to go ahead and bring in these campfires going all the way around. Probably at that point, you want to change the direction of them. It's going to create some awesome... It'll create some awesome smoke signals for us going way up into the sky. But for now, what we really care about is just kind of getting the extinguished campfires in there. I know this one's a little bit resource intensive, but I think it's going to make the build look absolutely awesome. Yep, there we go. Our entire thing's on fire and it's perfect. And now our ring should look a little bit more like this one. After this point, what you want to bring in is some stripped spruce wood and just pile that up along here. It's not the log, so we don't have that end texture to it. It's just the consistent one because I want something very, very smooth for ourselves that we could take around this entire place. And one thing I would recommend is try and place them in the same direction instead of doing like some like this and then kind of turning them. It'll just make it look a little bit more consistent as you go throughout, especially when you're looking at it from the inside. You don't get things like that. Then beyond this point, what we want to do is bring in some of our lovely trapdoors underneath on the inside and start to wind this area out or round the area out a little bit further. It's going to be a lot of layers bringing ourselves up here into the center because I want to have a very peaked up central point for ourselves. And I think it's going to be very, very cool to work with and just something awesome that we can kind of echo throughout the rest of the build. So we have that one here. And then, yes, we are going to be bringing in campfires on top of this one again to create that a little bit of a smoother sloped effect. And we're going to be bringing in some windows here very, very shortly for some great skylight accents. So while you're down inside your base, you're going to be able to see everything going on outside, at least the top of it. We'll make some windows on the inside too, but they won't be quite as big as these ones. Now, at this point, what we're going to be doing is bringing in some glass and bringing it to be 2 blocks thick the entire way around. So just extend them out by 2 blocks on each one of these faces, and you'll see that it creates a nice little circled effect for ourselves here, and I think it's going to be really, really sweet to be able to do this. And then from here, we're going to add a little bit more detail underneath so it looks a little bit more connected into the build instead of just a random glass circle and then another bit of a floating ceiling inside of it. So what we can do for that one is coming out onto these edges, we can add some spruce trapdoors under here, and we can just kind of connect those ones up here further together. I think it'd be a very easy way to do it. And then after that, we're going to be wanting to grab in some spruce stairs, attaching those to those trapdoor bits that we had upside down stairs. And then that will kind of bring ourselves into this next point. Here at this next point, what we probably want to do is bring in some of our lovely spruce slabs right here. And I would say we could bring in some more of those campfires, but I think we've exhausted enough of our resources at this point in time. So let's make it a little bit simpler as we're working throughout the rest of this one. It's a dome after all, so I think it's okay to kind of bring it up and smooth it out a bit further. And one thing I would recommend is while you're in here, add some more of our spruce trapdoors underneath this point right here so it feels a little bit more connected for the glass itself as you're looking around. It's going to help out a lot with making the builds being a little bit more consistent, at least from these angles and everything like that. But I think it's a cool one so far. And what you can do here is actually replace these with some more of our stairs. So on top of the upside down stairs, add some more stair blocks instead of where those slabs were. And then we can bring this in one step further, getting our slab right back in there. And then at this point, bring in some more of our slabs and just kind of have them upside down, connecting everything up into here. And we will start to bring in some more points to round ourselves out and add a little bit of almost like a stick coming out of the center. I think is going to be very, very cool. So if we have our center point right down in here, let's grab some of our stripped spruce log, and this should hopefully be the center right there. It is perfect. And let's extend that up to here for now, just so we can have it. And one thing that I want to bring in here is a little bit of brown carpet. I was thinking it would be kind of cool stretching these along the different corners that we have. And then after this point, we can bring in another slab right here in the center, just so it steps up another singular block for ourselves. And then here we want to get spruce planks and spruce stairs, and we can just add those on to right here going throughout the entire area. And then on top of that, add in some spruce stairs on top of those. and then bring in some more glass for ourselves here. And I'm just gonna dot those in right here. I think it'd be a cool little bit of extra glass work to it. I've been personally loving having glass just like all over my builds. I think it's such a cool look to have. So I've been really loving incorporating those in here and just letting the glass texture do its thing. And we have this little guy sticking out of the top here. We want to have that sticking up 2 blocks out of there and go 1, 2, and 3 out of the top. And then we're going to bring in a lovely flower pot for ourselves. Dot that right on top of here. And that's kind of the whole pointed house of it right in here on this one. I think it's a very cool design. And what we can do on top of this is coming inside, you'll see that we have a bunch of space in here. Look how tall the ceilings are just off what we worked on. You can see everywhere outside the top of it. I think it's very, very cool. Then outside of this, what I'm going to do is bring in a few windows right like this on our corners that we have here so we can just have that much more vision going outside of this. I want to leave the major faces open for the interior work that we're going to be doing, but something like that shouldn't be too hard to do. And then you can also kind of come out over here and add in a few trapdoors to help it look a little bit more solidified and connected. So there's a little bit of like window panelings and things like that. So quickly just dotting around this area, adding in some more trapdoors. It'll add to the base of the structure as well. So it's not just that flat line going all the way down to everything. We can have these ones in here if we can stop closing those trapdoor or the fence gates. And we get something a little bit more like that. And here in the front, what you can do to add some more depth into it is just plop one of those guys right in there. And let's go ahead and just have a little bit of a difference for the door. So it's not quite spruce everywhere. Let's throw in a nice little oak door. And you can also see through that one as well. Let me get the interior done on this one and I will show y'all the final product. And there we go, my friends. It's looking much more like a humble abode in my opinion here. And I think it turned out really, really awesome with the little fields over here. This is just using potatoes and wheat going every other. I love the color contrast that it gets. And I decided to change the angle of it for over here. A few changes to the outside that I did end up making was I brought in some stairs right here on the outside to kind of help round this one out. And I also brought a few down here. So there's a stair, a slab, a stair, and then we got a stair here, then 4 slabs and a stair, and then continuing that going around. And obviously we have a little bit of a chimney popping out up here due to how I set up the interior on this one. And it's looking pretty freaking fantastic. Let's head on inside though, and we can check it all out. In here, we've got pretty much everything you could possibly need for a survival base. Apparently 200 chests, we can go ahead and get rid of that one. We've got our storage right over here. It's pretty open. I like to make this a rounder area. We've got a kitchen cooking station over here where we've got that nice stuff going on. We've got the bedroom back here, and I managed to squeeze an enchanting area right in the center, and I think that turned out so well. And this will actually give you a full level 30 enchantment here. So that one's fully set up, ready to go. All we did was remove the beam from the lower areas and actually just kind of extend this stuff around there and make it a little bit more fancied up and everything like that. But I think it turned out really cool. It's a pretty small interior in here. There's a lot of little details and things crammed into the ceiling and everything like that. But I think from the inside, it gives you a great view of what's going on upstairs. You can see the weather. You can see what's going on. You can see if there's creepers in your roofs, if you need to, on top of your roof, if you need to watch out before you run outside the front door. But it's looking pretty fantastic in my opinion. One last thing we can probably grab here is coming on down and grabbing a nice little lantern for ourselves and smacking that right on top of that there block. But my friends, that's gonna have to do it for today's video. If you did enjoy this video, please be sure to click that like button down below for me. It means a heck of a lot and helps me out a bunch with the channel here. Click that subscribe button if you're brand new. Let me know in the comments below what types of tutorials and things y'all want to be seeing moving forwards, and that would be absolutely awesome. But my friends, I will catch you on the flip side.